Microphone test. 1 2 3 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Okay, it's working. Welcome to und stream. Yeah. Today I'm going to try to continue the game. Ideally, last time we made a little bit of progress. It was a shorter stream because I was tired from school and everything. Today we're going to try to work further in this. We want to ideally get this to-do list right here. We want to get done with it. There were 4 items in that at the beginning of yesterday's stream. There are 2 now, so we did 2 and we did it pretty well, I think. And now we're going to try to get it down to 0. Of course, there's lots of more things to do, but those are the 4 that I thought were essential 2 days ago, or more than that actually. I have some coffee with me, so hopefully I'm not going to be in the same bad state as yesterday. Today wasn't as busy of a day. I had a big nap in the middle of the day that I didn't mean to have. I actually wanted to start this earlier, something like 2 hours earlier. It's not a big deal, luckily, but, you know, this can delay my plans a whole lot. So, what are we looking at? Right, we have the things that change, we have the system that checks and changes the colors of every single element according to what it should be. And we want... First of all, we want to adjust those colors, right? The darken factor being 0.2, that's a lot. We should probably make it back to 0.85. We made it 0.2 so that we could, like, kind of test it, right? See how it was looking. Right, so that this makes sense, right? So what do we want to do then? We want to do the door to finish, right? We need to make, right now what we have is these 2 things. They have the same sprite, they look the same, but they shouldn't. One of them is a wall that just disappears when there's a star, when you collect the other star. And then we're going to need a little element that signifies the end of the level. Now for that one, I think that I should just make the sprite, right? I think that it should be something like, how do you end the level, right? What do you place in a game that makes it very clear that this is going to be the end of the level, that if you reach this, you pass, right? A checkered flag is like a very standard thing, but I don't think I can draw one really small and it be readable. And also a checkered flag has very specific colors, which means that I'm gonna have to create a case in the color handler to make sure that the checkered flag is always black and white, right? Well, let's check our resources folder and see what we come up with. Where did I put this? This, right? And then right, but this is not the latest one, so we want to do this. There you go. So this is the latest one, and then I can just copy this and paste it here. Paste it here. There you go. Okay. So the issue that I'm having trouble with is because these things, these collectibles, they should be keys, right? but I'm not sure how to handle it. A door? Would a door work for the end of the level thing? Like, I'm using the wrong color, but you know, something like this. Hmm. Okay, hold on. Actually, I'm thinking of something. I could have a symbol like this. It's just, you know, key thing, right? Keyhole. And then have a key icon, something like right, like that. Oh, that doesn't read like a key. Why is a key so difficult to draw? Could I do like a normal key, like an office key, like? Like that sort of key? Oh, that looks even less like a key. How do you draw a key? Damn it, I'm so bad at drawing. The issue is that it has to kind of look hand-drawn, right? Okay, forget about the key then. Maybe it's not a key, maybe it's something else. What can be like a thing for unlocking? How about just like a shape, just like a square, right? And then you know that the square piece unlocks the square. No, that doesn't work. Cause what the fuck does a square just fucking mean, right? Hmm. Uh, oh. Hold on. I think I have an idea. I think I could solve the key pair problem by by having the level generator create a little object that is just an overlay object, right? And that basically is just a little square outline on top of any normal wall, and that outline is going to be like, you know, like the keyhole shape, right? But it has to be small because it has to fit inside of the other thing. So like a keyhole shape like this, and then that's going to tell you right? And then that's going to tell you that this one is going to disappear when you grab the corresponding key. And the color handler, when it generates, it's gonna have a list here of key pairs, and those keys are going to have colors. And so the idea is that they don't need to know each other, but they just need to, the guy that generates it just needs to know what color we're talking about, right? Okay, hold on. I think that works. Okay, so forget about the door then. It's just gonna be a normal block with a keyhole, and that's gonna mean that this block disappears. So then let's start. Let's just, first of all, we need to get rid of these. These are not going to be what I use. Then I need to generate keyhole graphics. And they need to be white because that's how I'm allowed to recolor them. So like this. good thing about this sort of hand-drawn style is that because things just kind of shift and morph, I get to be a bit... I don't have to be as precise with the shape, because what matters is not the individual shape of any of these frames, but rather the overall shape of all of them, right? Now let's make sure that they are all the same distance from the top, so... yeah, just... this one goes 2 up, so... 2 pixels up, 1, 2. One pixel down, although it shouldn't matter much. And then... yeah, you were right. Okay, so then distance from the right. So you move how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What am I thinking? This is silly. What I need to do is just have like this. Right? And then that point has to be the same distance from the top and bottom. So on another layer, we do a blue. We do this. And then we copy those 2 lines and we paste them here, 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 and then just gotta move these things so that that red dot is exactly at the corner. So here, here, here. Also, this one is very janky, so I'm just gonna... I don't actually like this one. So we're going to do... we're just going to do it like this. Yeah, it's better. Still not like good, but it's better. Yeah, that's better. That's a lot better. Oh, yeah, I need this. There you go. Okay, so there we go. And now we can just remove these guides. Okay, and now we have these little keyholes. Then I'm going to need 4 keys. Which, again, I just can't draw keys. In fact, let's give these a bit more detail, just so that they stand out a bit more. So let's have them be darker in color and give them a white outline so that they stand out a bit more with the color that they're supposed to be. And of course, modify the outline a little bit so that it gives the keyhole more of a keyhole shape. Oh. Right, you don't want to just do the outline the same way all around. Then here, And here. Right, and then here. Like this. Yeah, overall they look like what they're supposed to be. And then we do like a little key. And we can make it look like a normal key. So just like something like this. Why is this so hard? Why does it just immediately look bad? It's a key. It's a simple shape. Is it the proportion like of the circle to the twig? Oh yeah, that definitely was what it was, because this just immediately looks a lot better. Okay, yeah, let's follow that proportion then. Yeah, I was making that way too small, so it just looked like a long stick. In retrospect, it seems obvious. Yeah, and then I can make that thicker, and yeah, that really just then treats the key shape. Right. Okay, that might be overdoing it a bit. It's a bit thicker, but not that thick. No, it looks too different from this one, and this one looks already pretty nice. So what we're going to do is, okay, since I'm having trouble drawing this, and I'm gonna obviously have more trouble drawing it the right shape, what we're going to do is create another layer, and we're going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here, here, and here, and then we're going to draw over it just freehand, and that's gonna give us the variation that we want. And the guide is going to help us not have it be too different, right? Now I get to do like this. Now I get to do this. And this, if it doesn't look exactly the same, that's obviously the point. That's why I'm doing this freehand and with the mouse, right? Well, I'm doing it with the mouse because I don't have a tablet. I don't have a drawing tablet. I'm not really interested in buying that either. I'm just not much of an art person, you know? Just give this a bit more of a shape. Just so that it has a bit of a very slight bit of a design on it, right? And then, to not have it be monochromatic, we want to have different colors so that it can accentuate. Was I drawing in the background layer? Yes, I was. Okay. Color on 0. Cut these, paste them here, go here. Okay, what I'm doing is pretty simple, so that was easy to fix, but god damn, I hate when that happens. Okay, and we want to have a different color so that we can just accentuate our keys a little bit. So, right? But again, we still want to keep that hand-drawn sort of style, so just have to make sure to not overdo it. Just sort of imply a little bit of depth and 3D-ness, but... Or rather, not depth, volume. Imply a little bit of volume, but keep it simple and handy. So like this, right? Oh, actually, I could make it animate slightly. Yeah, I could. Let's do that then. Okay. Let's just have just have it in a color that is not quite white. About this. But don't do global flood. Do just local like this. And then that might be a bit too dark. Like this. Yeah, this is better. Just have it in that color, and then have on a way sharper white this, right? We can have like a little sheen, like this. And just place it in different places of the drawing. Like this. Of course, that's very hard to see, right? But you can sort of see the contrast here. And so the idea is that it looks sort of like it's shining in different spots as it's just sort of jittering and moving. Okay, so those are the two graphics that I want. The door, or rather the lock, will indicate an object that's going to disappear when you grab a key that is of the corresponding color. The cool thing is that it'll only be drawn on top of the object that is already present there. So that's going to be the thing. Sorry, hold on. Reading a message that I got. All right. Yeah. Okay. So back to this. What we want then... Okay, so we have these things. We have to make sure that they're imported properly, and then we can start playing with them. Actually, I haven't saved it, have I? First of all, just save the PDN file, and then save it as a PNG. Yep, like that. Yep. I'll close this. And then we want to go to the folder, and we want to take the asset that I made in my temporary folder and put it in the actual Unity folder. I make a temporary folder so that it doesn't update stuff automatically while I'm editing it. So I only commit it to the Unity folder after it's already done. It doesn't make much of a difference, but you know. Grid items, yeah, and have to rename it. Rename it to image grid items, and then sorry, we won't name that. Okay, what's the difference then? Which is the one that I want? Yeah, no, not that one. I don't want that one anymore. I am being snagged by my naming conventions. Okay, there we go. That's what I want. Okay. Put this here, replace it. Then Unity, update it. Yep. Do you have them all? No. Why not? Ooh, hold on. I made a mistake. No, I put it with the. No, there's no other one. Okay. Back to the PDN. See, this is why I save the image project files in case stuff like this happens. What happened is I forgot to mute that layer. So, yeah, that was my bad. Image grid items. Yes. Flatten. There we go. And then actually put that in the Unity folder, which is right here. Yes, do replace it. Unity Blitz update. Okay. So now I want to slice them by cell size. And my cell size is, what's the cell size? It's 40 by 41. Yeah. So 40 by 41, no offset, no padding. Yeah. Pivot at the center, delete the previous one. Slice. 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 Yep, apply. Okay, so now I have all those locks and keys, right? And the idea is... Okay, so first of all, we're going to go to these prefabs, we're going to take this collectible, and we're going to change it to be a key. So that's first order of business. This prefab collectible, yeah, right here. So we're going to grab it and make it one of the keys, and then we have to give it the script to shuffle those sprites. So UI random sprite, not UI random sprite, just random sprite. This one. And then the sprite render is the one that you have. Your list of sprites consists of 4, and they are going to be this, 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 and this. And given that they are pretty important, I'm going to give them the same switch time as the player, so that they just stand out for the other stuff that isn't moving quite as much. And let's give them a default color of yellow, although that shouldn't matter. Just sort of like kind of implying gold color, right? Like this. And then when we generate this level, we're going to, the highlight color is going to be like this. That's saying gold color, so I can test how the little shine effect kind of works, if it works at all, right? Which I'm worried it might not, right? Because it's not... It doesn't like super work, but it doesn't not work, you know? The issue is that the contrast is not enough, but I don't feel confident giving it more, so take this collectible, or whatever, make it white. Just bright yellow. Yeah, the contrast would need to be more. You can see it sort of looks like that when it's when the color is darker. To be honest, I kind of like it with how subtle it is, because then you don't notice as much that it's just moving randomly, right? Okay, so we have that collectible. Then what we need is we are going to need a different object, different prefab that is like a lock, and that lock is going to appear on top of a block that already exists, or a space or something. and it's going to delete it and replace it with an empty space when it gets deleted. Actually, that function is already handled by the level generator, but it's going to show as if that were the case, right? So then we're going to do that. We have to take the train, we have to take this collectible, we have to unpack this collectible so that we can make it into something else. We need to remove the when collected because it's not going to be collected. This is going to be a untagged object. No, yeah, untagged because it doesn't actually exist in the world. This is just for show, and so it's going to be. It's going to need the world positioner. It's going to have the following as its default sprites. One of the locks. So like this, and then its 4 sprites in its list are going to be this, and this, and then so that it looks like it's moving along with the blocks, it's going to have a switch time of 0.4. And then we're going to make that into a prefab. So like not there, right here. Ignore that end, right? And so the idea then is that that the field generator, it's going to okay. Yeah, it's going to need yeah, I'm gonna have to do some scripting now because it needs to have different behavior. So first of all, we're going to need update. So we're going to need first of all a reference to that prefab. So public game object lock prefab, right? Then the one that's going to come across the key is going to be the actually, that's a good question. Who's coming across the key? Is it the rows? Yeah, they are the rows. So when this comes across this collectible, then it's going to generate a thing, right? The level generator is going to be need to be aware of those keys, of those locks, so that it can get rid of them when the collectible does its thing. So how does the key handle it when it is collected? It calls the world generator and then replaces. Okay, so I'm thinking, what would be the best way to do it? It could. Good question. What do we do here? it could create a list in the level generator that just holds a reference to every single lock, and then when a key is collected, it will. Or oh, this is an easier option. Yeah, this is an easier option. Okay, so what I could do is when the key is created, the row generator is going to create a lock, but then that lock is only stored in the key. So now the key is the one that is in charge of eliminating that. And because this lock is overlaid on top of a block, then the level generator does not need to be aware of it because it's not the actual thing occupying that slot. The actual thing occupying that slot is just a wall. So the level generator already knows how to deal with that. Like, as far as the player and the world is concerned, that lock doesn't exist. It exists only as a visual element to indicate to the player what is going to disappear when you collect that key. So, yeah, that works. That works for me. So, that's what we're gonna do. So the key is going to, when it is created, it is going to be given that lock. So, game object. We're not gonna call it lock. We're gonna call it overlay because that's how it works in the thing, and I may want to use it for something that isn't locks and keys. So yeah. Overlaid. No, let's just go over. Hover? Like it's an object that is hovering above the grid system? That's a bit too obtuse, isn't it? Too yeah. Esoteric. That's too esoteric of a meaning. I'm never going to remember what that means. Eight? Ghost? Like a ghost object that you need to eliminate? Lock? Frame? No, it's not a frame. Why am I getting snagged in variable names? That shouldn't be difficult. That shouldn't be the difficult part about programming. That's just weird. Replace object, right? Because this is the no, it's not an object that gets delete object. Let's call it just delete object. Delete object, right? Also, this shouldn't be uppercase. Why did I keep making that mistake yesterday? Just all over. Lowercase. Replace with. This is the object that we're going to replace the object that actually exists with. And the delete object is the object that we're going to delete, but very important, not a part of the grid system. Delete here. Here as in this script, right? And then yeah, and then what it's going to do is that when this is executed, it's going to take the delete object, and for now we're just going to destroy it, but we may want to do something a bit fancier later. Destroy delete object, right? Because, you know, we may want to spawn like particle effects or something, I don't know. You never know, right? So yeah, we're going to do that. And so then what is going to happen is that the row indexer, when it creates a key, it looks into that key's replace coordinate. It looks into that key's coordinates of where it's the thing that it's going to delete, and it creates a lock object on it that is purely visual, and then passes that object to the key, and now the key is the only one that knows where that object is. So now the key is in charge of deleting it, right? Which means that value needs to be public, actually. Why is replaced with... Oh, because it's null. Which should still be public, shouldn't it? It's fine if it's null because the level generator knows that when it is null, it'll replace with an empty. But yeah, I should make sure that those are public because that's obviously what they should be. I mean, not public, just they should show in the inspector and be serializable. That's what they should be. I know that there's a way to do that, but I don't know it, and it's easier to just do what I'm used to. So then we have this collectible. Question, why do you have this collectible? More importantly, why are you a little lock and not a key? Oh, because you're not a collectible, you're the lock. Okay, so we're gonna call you lock. Actually, it doesn't matter because you're not real. We're gonna call you lock. So open. Yeah, rename the file. Yeah, okay. So we have the log, this end doesn't matter. And then the field, yeah, when the row index finds that the object is of type collectible, it is going to take the replace coordinate and add an additional index, and it's going to, on top of that, it is going to create a little lock object without notifying the level generator. So it is going to, yeah. So it is going to... The key should hold its lock. The key should hold its lock. That way I don't have to put a lock every time I create a row index. So we're going to do that. The key should have a reference to the object that it wants to. Yeah, it should have. Yeah. Okay. Public indicator. We're going to call it indicator. So game object indicator. Right? Indicator. And so the row indexer, it's going to it's going to create the collectible, and then it is going to instantiate. Yeah, it's going to say, hey, Mr. Just make him a game, man. Hi. Just making games. You know how it goes. Yeah, I'm just making the game for the project for school. You know. Well, I can't show you right now because the script is not going to compile, is it? Let me making a grid controller. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Well, actually, it's already made. I'm just making like locks that destroy little doors when they're collected, and I'm making those doors have little locks on them. Keys, you know, that kind of thing. Hold on. Okay, so this is what I have so far, right? So the idea is that you can control this guy with the mouse button, so left and right, but you only get the commands that appear here. So here for the sake of testing, they are left and right, but the idea is that you could have like different ones over here, different sequences with multiple commands, right? So your movement is going to be limited in that way. But right now, I'm just checking out, just making little locks, a system for locks and keys that'll just collectible locks that'll open different doors and, you know, puzzle shit. Okay, so what I have is, yeah. So I want to get the component from this, and the component that I want to get is the when collected script, because I want to pass to it the object that I'm about to create. So first I need to create the object, right? So let's instantiate, and we don't actually want to save that one. No, what am I thinking? No, I do want to do it in the same line, just because it's easier that way. And I want to tell the indicator, that's the one. So the indicator has to be equal to what I'm going to get from instantiating. And the object that I want to instantiate is... Okay, this is going to be a huge line. Let's just break it apart. I need game object. It's going to be called indicator. We're going to call it indicator, it doesn't matter. This is going to be equal to instantiation to a new instance of the object that we want to create, which is... Oh my god, what a fucking mess. Yeah, I need to... First, get that component. Save it in a variable. Because I don't know why I didn't do that before. When collected, it's just going to be called collect script equals this, right? So now we have that, so now we don't have to write this fucking huge thing every time. Just replace coordinate, make additional add index, so that is handled. Then in that script, yeah, instantiate, and the thing that we want to instantiate is the one that is stored here as the indicator. That's a prefab, right? So instantiate that in position... Well, it should be the same position as the object itself, right? So we're just gonna make it vector 3, 0. And quaternion identity, just the same. And transform, yeah, just all that should be the same. So it's going to instantiate just in the origin, and then we have to take that actual indicator, get its world positioner component, so that we can place it in the where we want it to be. And then in that we want to have desired, yeah, it's basically the same as this. Yeah, it's the same as that. So what is that called? It's here. Its desired world position should be equal to the same variable as this. That is a coordinate. The problem is that that is in an integer vector 2, and I want a float vector 2. So we have to convert that, right? So vector 2 world position equals that, but converted to a float. So point x, and then the same point y, and we want to take both of those values and convert them to float. And then those are the variables of a new vector 2 that we're creating. And that's the actual world position. And so we want to give you that world position here. Nope. Yeah, here. Here. So you're going to know where to place yourself within the world. Then we want to take that indicator no, we want to take the delete object. The delete object. The indicator is the prefab, the delete object is the actual instance that we want to delete. So that delete object should be the result of creating that instance that we called indicator, because that's not confusing. To delete kind of implies that it's going. No, we're just going to keep calling it indicator, and we're going to write out comment here. Indicator is the lock object that he deletes when it is collected. So that way we don't forget. And then delete object is going to be equal to that indicator that we created here. And then let's make sure that none of those variables are creating any trash. They're all going to be just deleted as soon as this is done, right? Yeah, we have errors. Cannot convert script when collected to game object. Where is that? It's row index 26. Row index 26, game object indicator. What do you mean? Script when collected. Game object. Collect script. Oh, this is the collect script. Yeah, no, it's the what we want to create is the collect script point indicator. Because that's the prefab, right? Indicator, yes. That's the one we want to create. Okay, seems to be working. Now we need to go into that prefab and actually tell it that we want that indicator to be that lock object, this one. Then replace with none, delete object, yeah. Replace with delete object. Yeah, those are handled within the script. Hey, next. Okay, so then let's just check that that works by giving that row, instead of giving it an end, we're gonna give it the wall. And then that wall should have a little lock icon on top of it. So that should work. Okay, no, but apparently, like, I saw a lock, right? I think you probably saw it too. So where is that lock? It's over there. It's in 7.6. X7, Y6. It should be 7.1. But for some reason it was given 7.6. Is 7.6 that position? Kind of not really. Wait, what? Why are you moving to 4.9? You should be moving to 7.6. 5, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 1. What the fuck? Okay, hold on. Why is that -9? More importantly, why are you moving to the right position here, but you're displaying weird numbers? Is it because of this? Because this should be... Then, yeah, the collectible. Then this should be 0, right? 2, 1. Is that... Okay, hold on. Is it 9 because... Yeah, okay, so it's actually really close to 0. It's just displayed like that because shit's weird. Because floating point number inaccuracies. Yeah, that's absolutely why. Okay, just that confused the fuck out of me. Okay, so when you go to 5, you should be going to 5 minus... So that is 4. Yeah, okay, so that does work. You go to 0. So you should be going to 7.1. That should be the coordinate that you are trying to head to. It should be 7.1. It should be this. But for some reason, it's instead going to 7.7. 7-9. Wasn't it 7-9 before? Am I reading it wrong? What the fuck's going on? Okay, so yeah, it created a key and then threw it all way the fuck over there. That position is 7-6 in the grid, 7-7 in the thing. It's actually 7-7 because you're inside row 1, so that is an extra 1. Yeah. So when you create the thing and then you give this at index should be 0. And then you tell desired world position equals that world position. But for some reason the position that you got was 7-7, and it shouldn't have been that. Are these floats? Yeah, they are. Okay, so what are you getting as that debug point? Actually, before that, because I know that that number is actually... Why is the list empty? Oh, there's still... Yeah, the list becomes null. Okay, so that number should be 7-1. Oh, because I wrote X 2 times. It should be XY. Right, it was taking the first value and just using it as the Y as well. It should be... That's why it was 7-7. Okay, so that log appears. Problem is that it's blinking because it's just Z fighting. It's not actually Z fighting, it's just priority. We know that logs always should show up on top, so let's just make it so that the prefab has, let's say, 10 as its ordering layer. Yeah, okay, that works. And then when I press the key, it all gets deleted. Of course, I need to give it some punch. I need to make so that the key actually moves towards that, and then both of them disappear, and then maybe put like a cloud of smoke or something. That is all game feel shit. Right now, just the system, the logic of how it should work, works. Okay, so the next thing that we need is, because I may want to have a level with multiple keys, I need a way to tell you which key opens which door. That is going to be handled by colors. And so the way that it's going to be is that the okay, so the key is going to have a color. This is for the purposes of not having to have an external force coordinate them. So the key is going to have a script whose only purpose is to coordinate its color with its corresponding lock. So we can just do that. We can create that script. Terrain, prefabs. Yeah, we're going to scripts. I'm going to create a new script. Script color coordinate. No, that confuses. Color copy. That works. So then, this is going to have two things. A reference to its own sprite renderer component, own, and then public sprite rend. Actually, it may not be its own. It usually is going to be, but I may want to use it for something else. So instead, we're going to have it be sprite renderer copy from and sprite renderer copy to. The first thing that we're going to do is that if either of those are null, we're going to skip the update function. So if copy from equals null, or actually let's just write in a separate line just so that it's cleaner, because I'm going to have a bunch of these. If copy from is null, or if copy to is null, or if copy from point color equals copy to point color. Then I want you to actually just one line. Then return and just don't do anything, right? Otherwise, what do I want to do? I want you to take copy from, take copy, they should be with only one O, take copy to, take its color and make it the same as the copy from color. That should be it. That's extremely simple. Then what we need to do is make sure that when collected, takes who's gonna tell Topi to what it has to do? Oh, hold on. I'm handling this super weird. If the level if when collected is the only one that's going to be dealing with its log, then surely that log should be generated from there, not from the level generator. So, yeah. Actually, the row index, but you know that's what I want. So, yeah, so all of this that I wrote, I mean, it's not useless, but it shouldn't be here. Which saves me just a bunch of effort with this stuff. So the only thing that you should be doing is take the collect script and give it the replace coordinate, right? Then all of this should be handled. Yeah, all of this should be handled. So indicator, the world position, and so the world positioner of the indicator, and all of this should be handled here. It should be handled when you are created. So public start. No, not public. Void start. Right? So when you first update, what you're going to do is generate all of that stuff. And this is always going to happen before start, the level generator doing all of those things, because it is currently mid start its own start function. So that finishes. You create the object, then that finishes, then the object goes into the next update cycle, and then it does the thing that I wanted to do. Theoretically, I think. Not sure that's how it works, but I think that's how it works. If not, I can just put it on, put the other stuff on awake, right? So, so now we have to write this so that it actually works. So first of all, game object indicator equals instantiate. Forget the collect script because you are the collect script. Vector 30 quaternion identity and your local transform as the parent. And then, but I can't use indicator because that's going to hide this variable. But actually that is that variable, isn't it? No, it's the delete object. Yeah, so the delete object is going to be equal to that. Then world position is going to be equal to the additional add index point x, but hold on. Additional add index point y, get component world position to start world position equals world position. That's the indicator the load object. Okay, so that's what we've already done. And then we're going into the indicators of this one. We're going into that world positioner, and we're telling it, hey, your desired world position is going to be this thing we created here. And this thing we created here, we passed it as the replace coordinate. So yeah, the world position equals that, but instead of being additional add index, it's going to be replace coordinate point y, and then delete object, get component world positioner, and give it that position. And if I'm right, and all of this happens after the instantiation, the thing that it's right here. After this is done, then that should just, the order of operations should be the right one, and that should work, right? Okay, so fuck, I lost the thread. Yeah, okay. So I have this, then I have all that. Those variables should all be properly set. And then when you start, since you've created that object, then you take that delete object and yeah. Okay, this is very confusing, so let's just call it indicator prefab. Like, I've already gotten snagged by this like a bunch of times. Indicator prefab. Then we are going to need a reference to the color copy script. Script color copy color script, and then we're going to take that color script and we're going to tell it, hey, when you get created, when I create that object, I want you to take its sprite renderer. Yeah. So color script, I want you to tell it that the one to copy to, and the one to copy from is going to already be set because it's part of itself, so it's going to be set as its prefab. So color script, color copy to is going to be equal to the delete object's component that we don't have, so we're going to have to get. Jesus Christ, it's just, I know that it's all right because this only happens at level creation, right? So it's not something that is running, so it doesn't actually affect performance all that much. But it still makes me nervous to see so many get components in every fucking script. Okay, the little object get component, we want to get its sprite renderer component, and that is what we're going to pass it the copy to. The copy from is already set. The row index should be working, the when collected should be working. Let's see if this compiles the right way. It doesn't. Delete object get component. The name delete object doesn't exist in the current context. That is in when collected 14. Delete object. Oh, because that's what it should be called. Then the little object does not exist because I misspelled it. Then the let object doesn't exist either. 17. It's this. No, it's not that. What is it? Okay. Does that one work? No, it's 1730. So 30 is... You sure? 1730? Oh, 17. This. Okay, there you go. Okay. Then that should work. And so the idea is now that the key, when the key changes color, then the lock should change as well. And it should have no delay, right? Well, the lock appears to not have shown up. And there's an error in the console. The variable indicator prefab has not been... Oh, yeah, because I changed the name, right? So, the indicator prefab should be the lock. Indicator prefab. And the color script, yeah, we're going to do that. Script, color copy, and the color script is going to be yourself, and the sprite renderer to copy from is going to be yourself, and then the copy to is going to be that. There you go. For some reason, you have made yourself very large. And I think I have an idea of why. Because you're inside the collectible. And that is, yeah, local scale. So it should be local scale. 235. There should be like 1, scale 1, right? Like that's the scale it should be. But let's see if the other stuff works. When I change this color... Oh yeah, it changes color too! So I can have paired locks and keys. So I can have a level with more than one, right? They're going to work because they're different colors. I should make that color, that inner color, a lot darker though. Just... It's a keyhole. Holes are dark. But it works. Okay, so what I need to do is make sure that instead of generating, instantiating with itself as at its parent, it should instantiate with my own parent, well, with this script's parents as its parent. So transform point parent, right? And that way the local scale is maintained and I don't have to adjust it from the prefab. Also, I was watching the stream earlier, right? I was watching just, you know, because I do that when I upload them to YouTube. I was watching the previous stream, and I realized that it lagged. It lagged the fuck out in some places. And I think, because these are downloaded from Twitch, and I don't remember seeing any dropped frames, I think that was VTube Studio. I think the VTube Studio was like in my PC. Specifically, if I had to pin it to something, I would say it was probably the facial recognition, which is exactly why I wanted to have external facial recognition, but I'm not gonna pay $4 for something that looks this shit, you know? I mean, it's not that the facial recognition is bad, it's that my model is bad and it's not worth shilling any money for it. Although, I don't know, maybe I'll pay for it if I do get a job. I need to get a job. Or donations, you know, to this stream, for which I need viewers actually, so yeah, it would be faster to get a job. You haven't called me. Not the point. We're getting off topic. Okay, so we want to, I just edited a bit of code, so I want to see if it works. I want to see if the log appears bigger than it should be. It should be just the same pixel size as, yep, it works. That just works. Something about it is not convincing me though. Hold on, let me check something. No, they are the same size, the pixels. So then why does it look... Oh, hold on, something fucking weird is going on. Is it just because of the HD upscale? Is it not an upscale? Because... the fuck? It's so deformed! 4K. Make it 4K. Oh, it gets so fucking deformed. Why is that? What is that? I mean, it's alright here. It's not something that you'd notice unless you were looking really close, right? Like, I'm sure in the actual game when the thing is actually full HD rather than getting it, but huh? Like, you see how the thickness is so obviously different? Why is that? Is that just the Unity rendering, just the scene rendering, or did I do something wrong? I could have done something wrong when importing the resource. We're doing sprite 2D multiples, pixels per unit 100, mesh type that shouldn't affect it. Extrude edges, don't bother. Input texture alpha, max size 2048. Resize algorithm Mitchell, compression normal quality. Make it high quality. What happens if I do that? No, just make it normal quality. Yeah, 2048, resize algorithm Mitchell, yeah, whatever. Point, yeah, rub mode clamp. Alpha source, alpha is transparent, read and write, generate mid-maps. Yeah, none of that should make it different. Like, it should make it warble like that. Because this is 1 pixel and this is 1 pixel and they're completely different widths. But on the scene, they are the right size, right? So it's just the game. It's just the game view. Is it something with the camera? Base, projection, orthographic. Orthographic? Perspective? Ooh, what the hell? Why would orthographic do that? When I put it in perspective, it just works. It looks the right size that it should be. Orthographic is what you generally use for 2D games, right? But it warps the texture so much. Okay, I'm not gonna worry myself too much about that because that's, in the grand scheme of things, that's a very minor issue. If I have to change it to perspective, I'm going to need to rewrite a couple of things. So, you know, but it is more than likely that there's some setting that I'm missing here, and I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna ask my professor what it actually should be when I get to class tomorrow. Would it be tomorrow? Today is Thursday. Yeah, it will be tomorrow. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to ask my professor. He probably knows. This sounds like the kind of thing that will be a repeat issue, you know? If not, I can just change it to perspective, but that will be easy to do. I'm just gonna need to recalculate the camera angle so that the whole field is in view, and all that. So, you know, not a big deal. Not a big deal in the slightest. Okay. So, having had that, we now have the lock and key system. So now what we need to do is this color system should hold an array of lock and key colors that is of arbitrary size, and then the level generator should pass that to the keys. Okay, so yeah, the color system is going to do that. Okay. We're going to need a public array of colors. We're going to put it along with the other colors. Public color array that is going to be the key pairs, key colors. Let's call it key colors. So then, when you get the color of an object, if the object that you get is object tag equals collectible, then you are going to return something different. Return white. And the thing that you're going to return different is going to be color to return equals key colors key index, and key index is an index that we're going to generate that is going to start at 0 and then grow up by 1. So public not public, just private. Int key index equals 0, and then when we use it, it goes up by 1. And if for some reason it goes beyond the length of the array, it shouldn't, but if it does, color to, if key index is larger or equal to the length of the key colors array, we return key index to 0 so that it loops through the colors if it finds more keys than there are colors. So key index equals 0, and then what, right? Oh, he subscribed! Yeah, that's because I don't have alerts that I don't notice this shit. He's not here anymore, so I can't thank him, but you know. And whatever, I see him in class, I'll thank him then. Yeah, so the key index gets reset to 0, and then we do. So yeah, and we need to only do all this if the length of the colors array is larger than 0, because otherwise we're going to want it to fall back to white. Like if for some reason I forget an array, I'll just return white instead of, because if I leave it like this, it's going to error because this is going to be out of index. So if the object tag is collectible and the key colors array's length is larger than 0, then we do all that, otherwise fall back here and return white. So what that lets me do is have an automated unwrite, and I don't need to color the logs because the keys automatically make the logs the same color as themselves. So then what does that do? Color to return. Use of unassigned local variable color to return. What do you mean? Where? That's the same that I've written before. That is line 45. Line 45, line 45, 45, 45, here. What? What do you mean unassigned? But it was assigned before. 45? But I didn't change anything. With that, why is it suddenly unassigned? I'm assigning it here. I don't see why this will change things, but let's try it anyway. What? Okay, so the thing that I don't understand is why was it working before? Like, if that's an issue. Because I understand what he was trying to say. The compiler was complaining that there's a scenario in which this thing is not set, and so it's not going to be able to call this. Which makes sense, but then why was it working before when I hadn't set this up and I just didn't write this? Because it's still not always set, like, you know, if the object tag is neither wall space and collectible. Also, you know. That's very strange. Well, if it works, I'm not gonna worry too much, but... Not the way that happened. No, no clue at all. Also, the level generator. Why does it have a log prefab? It's not gonna need that anymore, is it? Because the logs are generated by the keys. So then we get yep, it correctly fell back to color white, and then let's say that I give it... Okay, let's say that I create 2 such collectibles instead of just 1. And yeah, and this one is going to be just prefab terrain collectible. Yeah, let's go to this row, just testing, and give it this collectible, just here again. And then let's say that we go to... Yep. We go to the field and we tell it, hey, I want 2 collectible colors, 2 keys. They're going to be... One is going to be just a red key, and the other is going to be a green key. Right? It should... And also, yeah, the first key is going to unlock door 7-1. The second one is going to unlock door 7-2. So it's going to be the space right above it, right? It should generate 2 logs that are going to correspond with the key, etc., etc. Okay, something weird happened here. What happened here, actually? Do the keys even correspond with the color? So this one unlocks that. This one unlocks this. So that works, but what happened? Why did the darken? Huh? Or to return? The object is end. Return darken color, color to return. If the color to return is just the element color, and you go here, the object tag is not collectible. It couldn't be because it's the element, it's the wall. So why did they become white? You would have had to have gone into here. I know what happened. Yeah, that's why that complained before. Forgot to type the brackets. Because it's more than 1 instruction, so now I need the brackets, right? Like, I'm not sure exactly how that error provided those weird results, but that was a mistake that I made, and there were some weird results, and it's probably going to be fixed now. Yep, it is. Works exactly how they should. Now these colors are fuck ugly though, but you know. So I am realizing something. So like, take a look here. You see how this guy is wiggling at a slightly different time from the walls? Like usually these things are all wiggling together, right? But this one is wiggling a little bit before it's at a different time. And that is because this guy only, its individual wiggle timer was only set when it was created and everything else was created at the same time because they are all because they are all created at the start of the level. But since that empty slot only got created when the key on top of it got consumed, then it got created at a different arbitrary time, so it's not on sync with everything else. And that doesn't look amazing. It makes the whole thing more visually busy, right? So we're gonna have to fix that. Oh, what a pain in the ass. Yeah, that's definitely the reason. Those are the only ones that are going, and the walls. But the walls work. The walls and the keys and the locks and everything else, it just works. So that's good. Now we're gonna have to do that. And the issue with that is that in order to have it all be coordinated, because all of those elements are running their own timer, which is inefficient as fuck, actually. So what I would need to do in order to have it be not more efficient, but more coordinated, which is what I want. Because let's be honest, running 27,000 timers at the same time is not like, it's technically less efficient, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big overhead. It's not like we're rendering 10,000 individual blades of grass, right? It's just a timer. Like, before you can do anything else, a microprocessor is just a timer. It's basically that. It's the most basic function. It's not going to be an issue, right? But we still it's not the efficiency that we're after here. So the way that I would do that is to have one script on the field that is just the wiggle timer, and then that tells everything in itself to update, right? To update its wiggle. Yeah. So how would I do that? Because the issue is that the function that I would want to tell, to notify every time, would be the random sprite. But the issue is that the random sprite is not accessible from the world list, so I will have to get component, and that's when get component gets tricky, because now I'm getting component of every single tile in the map once every 0.1 second. That's not good, right? So I can't access them through the map. I would have to make a different I would have to make a different script that just holds a constant awareness of every single random sprite component that gets added, and then updates them all, and then it runs all the timers. Which, yeah, I think that works. I think I can do that. Okay, so let's do that then. So first we're going to need to go to a script, and we're going to need to create a new script, and this script is going to be called script wiggle timer. So the idea is that this script is going to be part of the systems. It's going to be just that means that I get to have a ridiculous game object name. I get to just have a game object that is called the sprite wiggler. Oh yeah, the sprite wiggler. You have your main camera system, you have your world system, you have your grid management system, and then you have your sprite wiggler. That's great. Okay, so I have the wiggle timer. And the wiggle timer, what it does is it's just constantly running a timer, right? So, timer. It's going to be running 2 timers because we have 2 different times to contribute. So, one of them is going to be timer. Yeah, short timer. So we need a public float variable that is short time, and we need a public float that is the long time. And we may need more later, but that's just easy. So then what we do is we're going to need a public update. And first of all, this is going to have to be a singleton instance script. And what that means is because we're going to need everybody to be able to access it without holding a reference to it necessarily, just a strict reference to it. Just everything that has a sprite, a little sprite wiggle, it's going to automatically just need to access this. And I'm not going to just give everything a reference to this. Especially when some of them, when this is an object in the world, and some of them are going to be prefabs that are not yet created, so that's just a pain in the ass. So we're going to need to make a singleton instance. I'm so glad I learned how to do that, because before I was just doing some weird shit where like I was just dragging and dropping the script that I wanted to be a global thing into every single prefab that I created. And it's a pain in the ass, right? So we have this wiggle timer. We have to make it a singleton instance. Just do that, and there you go. So now everybody is going to be able to access it just by using this variable. Now, on this update, what we're going to do is we're going to have two timers, two float variables that are 2 timers. Public float long timer, and public float short timer. Actually, no, we're gonna want those 2. We're gonna want those 2 because if I want to change only one of them independently, then I can't just. It's not gonna work. So, which I don't think I'm gonna. I do like the times as they're set up, but you never know what you're gonna want in the future, right? Future is a dickhead and often doesn't care about past use plans, so we have to account for that. So, both of those timers are going to have delta time subtracted from them. So long timer minus equals time point delta time. And same for the short timer. Then, if long timer, if either of those timers go below 0, we're going to want to do some stuff. If short time lower or equal 0. And then the first thing that we're going to need to do for each of those is add to it the total length of the timer, so basically reset it. So long timer, not time. Long timer, add long time. And then the same for short timer. I realize that I'm writing the same code twice, which is usually a good indication that what you should be doing is a function. But the problem, and I would do that if this were Lua, which I like more as a scripting language. But the issue is that I don't know how C# deals with passing functions. And I'm not going to learn because... yeah, just guys. Wink. Wink. Oh, wait, I can do that now. Wink. 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 Okay, facial detection is a bit jank, but, you know, there you go. That's a wink. Pretend I winked. Yeah, man, if I could get the facial detection from my phone, it would be so much better, because then I wouldn't be running facial detection, or rather facial recognition. No, it's not facial recognition. What is it? It's facial tracking. If I could run the face tracking from my phone, then it would be great, because it wouldn't be running at like 8 FPS, because the fucking integrated laptop webcam you know? Okay, we have those timers. And then what I want to do is I want to execute different things depending on which timer just happened. So yeah, we're gonna need two lists. I hate dealing with lists. Why are lists just written like arrays in C#, honestly? Well, I see no reason why that shouldn't be the case. C#, because I always forget how they're written just because they're so weird. Yeah, it's list count, list length. How do you deal with lists? Yeah, as usual, the people on Stack Overflow are dickheads. Honestly, like, look at this shit. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, I took a screenshot. I opened this program just to take a screenshot and show it on stream because I don't know how to do that in OBS. Just fucking at me. But like, look at this shit. What a fucking chode. Like, he's not wrong is the thing, but like, Jesus, the attitude though, you know? God. This is why people make fun of you guys. This is why. Because you're all dickheads and you deserve it. Okay, enough of that. I mean, why do I even click on Stack Overflow links anymore? Like, I know I hate it, so why do I go there, right? I guess that applies to pretty much every website, right? Nowadays. Most. There are websites that are, whatever, not the point, not the time. How do you initialize the list? No, these are weird-ass fucking ways of initializing a list. What the fuck are you doing? How do you write that? It's list, control... Yeah, that's how it is. Okay. So, we want two lists. These are going to be lists of... they have to be public because objects need to be able to add themselves to it, and they are going to be lists of random what is it called? Random sprite, I think. I'm pretty sure. Random sprite. Yeah, random sprite. So we're going to have a list of these types of scripts. It's going to be called short wiggle, and then we're going to have another one that is the same thing, but this is going to be long wiggle. And then these random sprites are not going to hold their own timers anymore. They are just going to hold... Actually, good point. How are they going to tell each other that they want to, whether they want to be on the short list or the long list? Because see, I could do a boolean, but this is the job for an enum. That's what it is. It could be a boolean, but what if I want a third timer, right? Then I can't use the same boolean. I would have to do another boolean, and now I have two booleans, two variables to express the same thing, and that's not good. This is the job for an enum. Public enum wiggle type. It's going to be short and long, right? And then this, I can just create that as a variable here. So random sprite is going to be, yeah, timer. Yeah. Public wiggle type with a Y. It should be wiggle type. And then these enums is going to have the wiggle type with a Y right here. And then it's going to be like that. So then, start. When you start, don't bother with the timers because we don't care about them. We don't deal with timers anymore. So when you start, what you're going to do is search for the wiggle timer instance. And then you're going to tell it to... And then you add yourself to the list. Yeah. Then... Oh, yeah. Well, the wiggle timer should take care of adding you to the list, right? You shouldn't add yourself. So... Because that way the wiggle timer is the one that deals with the list. So actually these lists don't need to be public then. It's better if they aren't. And since they're private variables, let's just put them here. Also, these shouldn't be public either. So like that. And then, okay, so then on that instance, I want you to... we're gonna need to create a new function, and that is add wiggler. Add wiggler? No, because the wiggler is the one who does the wiggle. That's the wiggle timer. And let's just call it add object, right? Yeah, that works. Add object. No, that's too generic. New wiggle. That's what we want. New wiggle. And this function is going to receive two things. One, the wiggle type. And two, this script. And so on enable, you make that sprite, and you make the index that. And then on update, don't bother with the timer. And don't bother with all this. And if the timer... Yeah, we don't care about this either. And then index is going to be get random index, and then turn the sprite into that index, and that is going to be what happens when I call this function that is called wiggle, right? And so wiggle timer is going to work by calling that function from the random sprite. So when the random sprite calls this new wiggle function, also just, you know, this. So when the random sprite calls this wiggle function, then the wiggle timer is going to do its thing. It doesn't return anything, but it does need to be public to be accessible by that script. Then oh, I just lost the thread. What happened there? Okay, so then that wiggle type is we're going to, yeah, wiggle type. So then it's going to need two things. Just that enum. It's going to need a wiggle type variable. That is what you receive. And a script random sprite variable that is going to be called sprite script. And then what it's going to do, it's going to switch type, and if type, in the case that type is of type wiggle type point short, I think it was called, short and long, yeah, that's what they're called, short, then you are going to add the sprite script to the list short wiggle point add sprite script, and then the same but for wiggle type long. Instead, I want to add you to the long wiggle, right? Then the then when the timers run, then I want to take the corresponding list and wiggle every single object within it. So for each script random sprite script in long wiggle, do, I'd say do, even though you don't type that. I'm used to it because it's on Lua, and Lua you type the word do in there. For each of those, script point wiggle. We're gonna run the same line because it's a really simple instruction. And then the same here, but instead of short wiggle, long wiggle is going to be short wiggle. And yeah. That works. Yeah. And then the random sprite just it does this. So then I need to make sure to delete this from the list when they are deleted, right? Is that spider? It's a spider just dangling in front of my face from the ceiling, presumably. Pretty sure I killed it, actually. That didn't look like a harmful spider, but I just reacted. What the hell? That was right in front of my face. I need to dust that fucking ceiling, because that shouldn't happen, you know? Not to be fair, spiders just live inside their homes all the fucking time. It's not that. Or maybe I'm just coping because I'm a dirty little pig. That could be it too. Okay, what do we want? We want to remove these objects when they get deleted. So, random sprite. Void on destroy. You want to remove, yeah. Public void remove wiggle. And it's going to receive two things. First of all, the wiggle type, so that it knows where to which list to look in, and then the script itself that is to be removed. And so the way that it's going to do that is that if wiggle type, if type is wiggle type point short, then it is going to do a thing, and then it's going to do a similar thing if it is long. And the thing that it's going to do is short, go into the short wiggle list and remove the object that is to be removed But if the other case, if type is instead wiggle type long, then instead of going into the short list, you're going to go into the long list. That should be it. And then random sprite is going to make sure to call that function whenever the object it's attached to gets destroyed. So remove wiggle, wiggle type, and this. And that should make it so that we're not storing trash that we don't use and then iterate through it just every single time this happens. And then the wiggle timer, it should work like that, right? So then we go into the sprite wiggler and we have to set those variables, don't we? No, actually, because, okay. Wiggle timer 36, identifier expected in line 50. That is right here. What do you mean? What? What do you mean? 36? What? What do you mean? I have no idea what could possibly be wrong here. Hold on. What's the error? Identifier expected in line 36 of wiggle timer. Line 36, you said. Okay, why did I go into 50? Line 36. Yeah, no, it's this. What? Did I just forget how to write switch case statements? I know I wrote one before in this same project. I wouldn't have just forgotten. Yeah, here, switch the variable and then case, and the cases are these. Case here is wiggle type. Wiggle timer, switch the variable and the cases. The variable is type. I am confused. What's going on? Is it a type? There's no way. Is type a reserved name? It could be it. Okay. So then let's not use type. Let's use wiggle. Just type of wiggle, right? No way that fixes it. Okay, identifier expected short is a keyword. Oh, fucking hell. 6 static. What? Which one 6 is it? Script enums 6. Oh, for fuck's sake, that's such a pain in the ass. Okay, we're gonna call it quick. So then I have to go into every single thing and change short to quick. Quick. Anywhere else where I typed short? And no, but I should change all of these as well so that the names are consistent. So quick, short, quick, then short timer, quick, short, quick, short, quick, short, quick, short, quick, short, quick, short, quick. I'll be shocked if Visual Studio Code does not have a feature to do that exact same thing I just did automatically, but I'm not gonna go searching for it. Long is also a keyword. Oh, what a pain in the ass. Okay. Quick and slow then. I do wish it highlighted them a different color. Long wiggle. Long wiggle? Slow wiggle. So, going to here. slow time, slow timer, slow wiggle, slow wiggle, slow timer, slow timer, slow time, slow wiggle, slow, slow wiggle, slow, slow wiggle. Okay, identifier expect. Oh, well, fucking, where is it? In enums, did I forget to save them? Yep, that's what happened. Then in random sprite, I apparently missed a semicolon. So number 8, random sprite. What? Invalid. What? Oh, yeah, it's a wiggle type variable called wiggle type. I forgot to write the type. Wiggle timer 21 method must have a return type, but I forgot to just write the void. Yep, that's exactly what happened. And type or namespace script random script could not be found. What are you talking about? Where? I'm 45. Right, it's called random sprite, not random script. Oh, fucking hell. Ooh, I'm going to kill you. Remove wiggle. Random sprite, remove wiggle. What do you mean it doesn't exist in the current context? It's 34 in random sprite 34. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, because I forgot to tell it that that script exists in wiggle timer. Such a pain in the ass, all this. What do you mean it doesn't? You're killing me. You're killing me. You're killing me right now. I've been wanting to be since I started saving all these scripts, and now I'm just holding it. Wiggle is inaccessible due to its protection level because I forgot to put a public in here. Yep, public. It's public. Oh my god, okay. Do you work? Nope, that's a lot of errors. And also the sprites are not wiggling. What are you saying? Jesus Christ. Object reference not set to an instance of an object in wiggle type. Yeah, I think I just. Ooh, baby. Yeah, I'm gonna need to go into every prefab and just modify that. So UI random sprite. The UI random sprites can just stay like they are for now. You are no, they're all wiggle quick. They're already set to that. Okay, so wiggle timer line 37. Wiggle timer line 37 right here. And you're telling me that quick wiggle this list that I didn't create. It's just an empty. See, this is why I don't like lists. It's just finicky. I mean, it's not that I don't like them, it's just that I always forget them. I forget how to deal with them. Okay. So, like, it kind of works, but it's freaking the fuck out. It's kind of funny. Oh, hold on. What's going on? This is a completely different error, but why is the player not facing up or down? Or left or right? These are side. These are side. Yeah, these are all side. These should be the ones that are active right now. So why is up? Why are the up sprites the ones showing? Oh, yeah, okay, so thing number one, this should happen on destroy, but it also should happen on disable. We don't want to be keeping that sort of thing happening. So that is thing number one. That's going to fix the player, right? Because before I was relying on disabling those components in order to get them to not do the timers, but disabling a script only makes it so that its update functions don't happen. And since I'm no longer handling that stuff in their own display function, update functions, that means that they're just doing that stuff constantly now. Okay, so now what is going on now, right? You are correctly going up or down. Left or right for some reason is just kind of staying. Why is that? And up or down now? Up or down? Oh yeah, because not only should that happen on disable, we should also do this on enable. So this is not just start, this is also on enable. Right? That way we're making sure that this stuff can happen on enable or disable, etc, etc. There's a better way to do this. I should write a different function to do that stuff so that if I need something else to happen every time this gets added or removed from the list, then I can make it happen there, and it'll happen both on enable and disable and on destroy and on start. But we're going to worry about that when I actually have to do that, if ever. Okay. Okay, so now it continues to wiggle. That's good. However, they are now wiggling constantly instead of on a timer. So I have to check why that is. Oh, that's just because I didn't set these timers properly. Quick time is 0.1, flow time is 0.4. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So now the sprite wiggler, yeah, quick time is going to be 0.1, slow time is going to be 0.4, and now we're going to tell it which objects are quick and which ones are slow, which is just easy. So the collectible is quick, the player is quick, the wall has to be slow, the log should be slow so that it's coordinated with the wall, and the empty should be slow so that it doesn't call too much attention to itself. And now we should get the same effect as before, but except... Okay, hold on. Why aren't they not wiggling every single time? Maybe they are wiggling, but they are just picking the same sprite that they just left. That could be it. Let's see about that. The thing that should prevent that from happening should be this random sprite script. The wiggle gets an index, gets the random index. Yeah, the current index is set to... You get a random index, you set the index to that number, and when you get the random index, you're getting the length of the sprite list, and then you're returning a random number between 0 and the length minus 1. And the length minus, right, the length is going to be 4. You return a random number between 0 and the length minus 1, non-inclusive. So you get a random number between 0 and 3. Between 0 and 2, actually. So 0, 1, and 2. You basically get a random valid index, except for the last one. If the index is exactly the one that is already set, then you set the last index instead. So you know, if you're currently in position 0 and you generate a 0 from the random function, then that 0 is going to be turned into a 3, and you're going to get the last position instead. And that makes it so that all positions are equally likely, but you're not getting, except for the one that is currently on, right? So why is that returning? So is that even returning the same number, actually? Let's debug those numbers. So debug previous concatenate the current index, and then same thing, but instead of the previous list, the one that we have rolled, and get the index. We should never see those two be the same. Debug log. Also, be right back. I believe. You know, I really forgot to do the thing that I said I was going to do, where I would have the little rice bowl guy go to sleep when I wasn't at the oh Jesus when I wasn't at the monitor. Um, it is a shame because it would be really easy to do too. Okay, we're back to it. So, what we want is what we want to check is why it seems to be rolling numbers that it's already on. Like it shouldn't roll repeats. If it's in one index, it should not roll the same one again. But for some reason, that seems to be happening. Okay. So, 1 0 2 3 2 1 1 3 3 1 1 3 3 2 1 0 3 2 2 3 0 2 2 0 3 0 2 3 0 2 0 1 3 2 2 1 0 2 3 0 3 0 0 2 1 2 0 1 0 3 1 0 3 1 3 1 1 0 0 1 2 3 3 1 2 3 2 3 2 1 1 0 2 0 0 3 3 1 3 0 3 1 3 1 2 0 0 1 2 3 2 1. I really didn't do this very smart, did I? There you go. That's gonna make the whole thing easier to read. Collapse all of them. And let's see. 0 3 0 1 0 2 3 2 1 3 3 1 2 0 2 1 1 2 2 3 3 0 1 0 0 3 0 1 3 1 1 0 0 2 1 3 2 3 1 2 2 0 2 1 3 2 3 0. Okay, so it's not rolling repeats. So instead, what's happening is that the wiggle function is not being called every time, right? Because if it's not rolling repeats, it just should not be possible to give you the same one that you were just on. So then what's going on? Why are not all of them being wiggled every time? What you're doing is going into every single script in the slow wiggle list and wiggling it. Every single one, right? I do not understand this. Okay, hold on. So why then? Oh fuck. Okay, so why then? The question is the sprite wiggler only doing this wiggle effect on some of them? Why are some of them just staying frozen sometimes? It should be that each time the timer executes, that you just wiggle everything in your list, and everything in your list should be all of the walls. So is the timer just not applying correctly? Let's check the numbers. So the objects that are in the list are this key. Oh fuck, right. You. So the objects that are in the list are this key, this key, the side sprites of the player, and then this key again. Oh, okay, yeah, I know what's happening now. Yeah, if they're being added 2 times to this list, then sometimes it's going to roll the same sprite as it was previously on the previous frame, because it's rolling one and now the index is something else, and now it's rolling again and then it's rolling the same time as the first, and it's not going to catch up because, okay, so if it is twice on the list, that must be because I am adding them to the list on start and on enable. So let's not add them on start. That should do it. That should. Oh, I'm glad it was an easy fix, because I really was not getting it before. There you go. Okay, now that's what I want. That's way more like it. Okay, what happened there? Wiggle array data. Yeah, of course it disappeared. I made it disappear. When the object disappeared, it should be getting off of the list. Retain mode. Type is not supported. PPTR value. I don't care. Right, so the issue is that that object that was wiggling got taken off of the list. Undestroy, unsave. Yeah, because it got destroyed, right? And then when it got destroyed, the wiggle timer tried to wiggle it, and it couldn't, and it threw an error. But the issue is that when you get destroyed, you should be removed from the table. So did that not happen correctly? Big wiggle, remove to remove. If the wiggle type is slow, then slow wiggle, remove to remove. Why didn't it happen? Quick wiggle, array data 1. Quick wiggle. Quick wiggle, array data 1. This is a pain in the ass, because the point is that these don't actually tell me where the arrow exception is thrown. So, because it doesn't know, right? It just was checking the values, and now they're not there anymore. Quick wiggle. So it's these 3. It's either the collectible. Well, it's gotta be the collectibles. What? Why is it only happening sometimes? Oh, that's weird. Okay, why is that only happening sometimes? Oh, that's not good. Okay, so why... Oh, no. Okay, so I am correctly removing them, but for some reason, the only thing that I can think of is that they are being removed mid new wiggle. So we're in the middle of this update function, But that can't be it, can it? Or rather, yeah, we're in the middle of this of this for each, and there it gets removed. But that shouldn't happen nearly as often as it is, though. That's an insanely fast time window. Like, I'm talking sub-frame. So that can't be it. So is it just not being removed correctly? So timing probably matters. If it is that, which I'm not sure that it is necessarily. Oh man, that's so annoying. Okay. Let's just clear this window though. So then, okay, so what are we dealing with? We're going here, and this array data has disappeared, and you don't like serialized property. Serialized property. Hold on. So does that ever just not happen if I'm not in debug mode? Because serialized property, that's a Unity thing, right? Okay, it didn't happen that time, but let's double check. Yep, didn't happen that time either. Just one more, just to check that it wasn't a fluke. And then I turn on debug mode, and I look at that table while it is happening. And then it complains. Okay, so Unity just doesn't like displaying things here as they get eliminated. That's what's going on. That's weird. Why wouldn't that be a thing? Okay. Oh, I'm glad that wasn't an actual issue. There's nothing to fix. That's just Unity deciding to be weird. Okay. So okay, so we created the key system. The lock and key system just works now, right? So now what we want is a door or some other thing that will end a level. And so that will be fucking, yeah. Again, look at this fucking dickhead. Imagine being user Xenxer from fucking Stack Overflow. Imagine being this guy. Imagine. God. Yeah, don't go to Stack Overflow. It's a bad web page for bad people. I say that a lot, just that X is a bad Y for bad people. But it's true. Like, most of the time it's true. I am always correct and I am a good person, so you should listen to what I'm saying. Okay. What are we actually doing here? So what we want now is a level ender, and once I have that done, is going to be when I'm going to finish this. So that should take me only a little bit. Don't save. So let's go back to my grid of my little sprite atlas. It's not really a sprite atlas, is it? I guess it is. Does it count? Does that count? I don't know what the terminology is, and I should. Let's go to the spread atlas here. And we're going to create a new thing. We are going to let's place it here, just for the sake of it being easy to reach, for the sake of it already having a bunch of squares. So we want a level finisher, probably a checkered flag, but maybe what we want is just the checkers, not the flag, right? We could do it like this, or we could do it like this. And then switch to white. Does that read like a checkered flag? No, it doesn't. It just reads like a bunch of squiggles. Okay, let's... Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, so that doesn't quite work. What about a little flag? So we could do it like here, just black color. Why are you not drawing? Oh, because I'm on the eraser. Right. So flagpole here. A little white thingy. And actually, let's make it like gray. And then bright white. One of these things. Yeah, also another thing that I wanted to do is make these darker. I don't want them to be completely black, but they need to be pretty dang close, right? Like that. And then let's just draw this thing again. So, black hole for the flag. Ballpoint for the topper. And then squiggly white flag. Like so. That one's too far. Like this. Maybe that one's rotated a bit too far. Let's rotate it a bit. Make sure to turn off the anti-aliasing so that it rotates in the way that I want. It has the look. Like this, and then fix edges that are just too jagged. So like this, and then pick color black. And move it down a bit. Like this. Yeah, so this is going to be our flag. This is our end of the level element. And so we shall place it. Yeah. So then let's save this. Let's also mute this layer and save this as a PNG so that we can export it back into Unity. Yes, it already exists, I know. Then go to the Unity folder. Unity. Resources. Go to the Unity. Show me it in the Explorer. And replace that file, please, and thank you. Replace it. Then do the grid shit again. Wait until it imports. It didn't import. Okay. Did I replace it with the wrong thing? Apparently. Okay. Oh, flat. Yeah, it didn't save yet. Okay. Back to Unity. Back to my desktop. Go to the Unity folder. Resources. Go to this. Go to that. Come back. Replace. Yes, replace. There you go. There you go. Now do the slicing again. Not automatic 2-bit cell size. It's 41 by 40, I think. No, it's 40 by 41. 40 by 41. Yep, there you go. Delete the ones that are already there. Slice. Yep, apply. And there you go. So now we have those flags available. Presumably? Oh no, you added them horizontally. Oh, that's an issue. Because now they're all going to be switched. Tell you what. Just... Oh, but I would have to move everything. Okay, we're modifying the file then. We're making it different. We're taking this grid items PDN. We are taking all of this from the background layer. We're going to copy it. We're going to paste it. No, we're going to... No, from the layer 2. Why is it called background if it's not the background? I just misnamed it at some point. Right. Sizes. Sized. Sure, that works. Oh, perfect. It works. And then grab these 4 sprites. Grab them. Move them. I should make sure that they're at the right corner so that they retain the placing that they were supposed to have. Grab them. Move them. Move them. Move them right over here. Right, like this. Then you do this, come over here. Yep, that should be it. Crop to selection, and now we have this. So now it's long, and then if I want to expand it, I'll just expand it low, and that means that the placing is not going to be messed with. Save this PDN, then delete the background, and save it as a PNG, so that we have the transparency. Yes, to replace it. I want you to flatten it as well. And then go to the Unity folder and do the whole thing. Desktop. Desktop. Resources. Here, replace. We replace the file. Yes, to replace it. And then go back to Unity, where Unity is going to be freaking out because there are things outside. Don't worry about it. Do the same slicing as before. And now apply. Okay. So now we have... Yes, I know, I already fixed it. So now I have this prefab that is this little end, and we're going to change its sprites. So its default sprite is going to be the flag. Then it's going to have a script that it's going to cycle its sprites, so random sprite, and it's going to have 4 sprites, and they're going to be the 4 flag sprites. And I think this is going to be a quick cycler, but I'll see how it looks once I actually see it in action. Then we overwrite apply all and delete you. Yeah. And so now we should have that thing. Okay, so now we have the row one. We don't need that second collectible anymore, so we're just gonna make it an empty instead. And why are you not showing up? Well, what's going on? Please update your picture here. There you go. Thank you. Okay, so now that's going to be an empty, and then the last wall, instead of being a wall, is going to be a end, so that we can test it. Okay, so the key works, and then you don't bump into the end. Also, for some reason, the end is not wiggling. So what is going on here? You end. You have wiggle time. Oh, I forgot to give it the sprite renderer component. So there it is. That's probably what these errors are about as well. Yep, now it's wiggling. It looks nicer than I thought it would. Okay, so now I need to make it so that the player can step on it, and then when it steps on it, something should happen. Yeah, it should trigger an end sequence, but I don't know what that end sequence would be yet. But we can figure that out. We can figure that out later. Right now, I just need to know that an end sequence has been triggered. I need to let the player step on top of the flag. And then I need to know that an end sequence has been triggered. And the actual positions don't matter, because as soon as you step on top of the flag, a new level is going to be generated soon. So I don't need to actually check any world positions then. I just need to disable input for the player so that it doesn't mess anything, and then load the other level. We are not going to be doing any of those things right now, though. Right now, I'm just going to start by making it so that the player can step onto the flag, and we'll get it from there. Okay, so first of all, the player. How does the player move again? We start by checking that. The player moves by using this player movement script. The player handles what it's going to collide against. So when it's going to collide against the wall, it stops movement. When it wants to collide against the space, it allows movement. And then when it wants to collide against the end, it'll step on top. Moves, but steps on top. So then, rather than telling the level generator instance to switch the object's place, because then that will make it so that the flag goes to the place where the player was, and that's not what we want. Instead, what we're going to do is just straight up call the player's world positioner, and tell it to the position script, and we're going to tell it to move it in the way that it wants. The position script point desired world position equals no, because this is a variable. Yeah, okay, so yeah, we have to turn that variable into an end. Is grid position a vector to end? It already is, yes. So we have to turn it back into a float. Ah, that's easy. That's fine. So just new vector2 float grid position. Yeah, grid position point x, and then the same thing for the y component. So float grid pause point y. And that should move the player on top of the clock. That's all it'll do. It won't deal with any memory issues. It's not gonna like the level generator script. As far as it is concerned, the player is still in the position where it was. But that doesn't matter because we're about to get rid of that guy anyway. Because we don't need that level anymore. That level has been completed. So cannot assign indesired world position because it is a method group, right? What I meant was desired world position. I guess. Ooh, cancel. Don't, whatever I was doing, don't do that. I just pressed it on the keyboard by accident. Oh man, I should have totally downloaded the streams where I was playing. Hi Rush. For some reason I didn't think to download those and upload them to YouTube. Okay. Now the player, if it tries to step into the flag, onto the flag, it should be able to. Yes. Yeah. The movement books out after that, but it doesn't matter because at this point, since the flag has been stepped onto, the level has been finished. So, one thing that we want to do is disable input from the player. So, on the thing that handles the input, which is this panel right here, this should have a variable that is a boolean that just handles whether the player can move or not at the current moment. So, public bool can move, or rather can can move, right? Can move. Then if can move equals false. If not can move, so can't move, then return. And then that's going to make it so that it doesn't send any more commands. The issue though is that that only disables the player pressing the buttons doing anything, but if there's a command queued up, we need to get rid of those too. So is this a singleton? Because it should be. It isn't. Okay, let's make it a singleton. Right? And then that makes it so that when the player steps on a flag, I can disable that. So script mouse. Ooh, hold on. No, we're going to do that right now so that we can test it, and then we're going to actually do the sequence. I'm probably going to do it tomorrow during class. Mouse input receiver, and we want to do can move to false, right? We have to make sure that it's the instance though. Can move equals false. Okay, there. So we have that going for us. So we have that going for us. Next, we want to also disable, also a way to kill all the commands that were already sent. So we want to go to the schedule panel because that's the guy who holds all of those. Also, no, we haven't finished the door, so I don't get to clear that off of my to-do list. Whoa, 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 what the hell, what the hell? Wow, what's going on? Why are you throwing errors during... Calm down, calm down. What the fuck? Why did it compile? What's going on? I didn't... What the fuck? Oh, Jesus! What are you doing? So it just bugged out. Just the inspector window bugged out. It wasn't my code. It wasn't me. The inspector window bugged out. That was scary. Oh God. Jesus. Okay, well, I'm glad that wasn't me though. That's the silver lining here. Oh, okay, so just in case, I'm going to make sure to save the project. Just save everything, please and thank you. Okay. What was I doing? I was going into the schedule panel because I want to give this a function that will kill all pending commands, right? Execute command, yes. So I want public void cancel all commands, and then that makes it so that you take every waiting command for each command. No, pending arrow. You take every pending arrow. Wait, what's the difference actually? This is the first stuff that I made in this project, so I've forgotten it by now. Oh, I can just make the... No, let's eliminate the arrows too. Let's not be lazy. That may come back to bite me in the ass. So, for each waiting command, just eliminate it, right? I could just... Okay, hold on. Let's just do this. That way I don't have to do a for each. Just create a new list and assign that to waiting commands, and then I assume C# or Unity has a garbage collector that will realize that there's that reference that is not being touched anymore. At least that's the way it was in Lua, right? So I'm just going to trust. And honestly, if it isn't, what is this going to be? This is a bunch of ints, right? These are enums. So how much memory are they going to be taking, really? But these do need to be properly deleted, because otherwise they're going to linger in the scene. So that's when we do the for each. And that way I only have to do one for each. So for each game object. No, I can't do a for each. No, hold on, these are lists. Isn't there a quick way to just completely obliterate a list? Just in C sharp. C# empty. You can see me, I'm on the browser. C# empty a list. Although it's just clear. Okay. So I can just do that then. So then just forget all this. Waiting commands clear. Then, oh, hold on. I'm being silly because I need to destroy them in the scene. I need to actively tell them to be destroyed. I can't just clear the list because that's just going to break the reference to them. It's not going to actually destroy the object. So I need to iterate through the list. But the issue is that if I start deleting things while they're on the list, then that messes with the for each statement, and I'm not sure if I can just do it in reverse order and they'll fix it the way that it does with an array. So how would I do this? Right, how would I do this? I would want to do this. Oh god, my ear is itching so much. Okay, come on, home stretch. I finish this whole thing and I'll be done for today. I want to... Can I do a for each? If I destroy them, will the reference be broken? It shouldn't be, right? Maybe it would be. Would it? I'm not sure. Let's Google that. Oh, hold on. I can just do this. Yeah, I can just do this. List. Yeah, what are the list functions in C#? C# list functions. I'm gonna use a while loop. So the want is, yeah, count. So I want to take while the list of game objects, so the pending arrows, while the count of pending arrows is larger than 0, then I want you to do a thing. I want you to take the last element in pending arrows, actually just the first one, yeah. Destroy pending arrows element number 0. Then clear, no, not don't clear. Delete oh, would that delete it? Yeah, and then remove at. Remove at 0. Because I'm assuming destroying the object does not remove the reference. But it might not. It might not work how I'm expecting it to. So let's test that. Let's make really sure that I'm testing that right. So I would want non-invocable member list count cannot be used like a method. What? But it is a method though. It's a list. It shows count. Where is it? Count Oh, it's a property. Okay, never mind. Like that. Right. Okay, let's make sure that we're really testing this the right way so that I don't get bamboozled by it. So first of all, on the command list, we're gonna just have one command list that actually I can just do that by spamming. So that's what we're going to do. Right. So remove add does not exist in the current context. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, because it's list point remove add. And then we're also going to have this be a thing so that I can test it right here. So it's going to be context menu remove all commands, and that should make it so that I can use it from the right panel without having to actually figure out the logic of making that happen. And then I brought myself a cup of coffee. Did I already drink that? I did. That sucks. Yeah. Okay. Right, because I didn't set this up. Yep, okay, so at least I know now that that works. So, we are going to create a bunch of stuff, just a bunch of garbage, right? Now that it's already created, we're going to put it here so that we can check. We are going to pause the game and we're going to go into the schedule panel and we're going to tell it, hey, remove all the commands. It has removed them. Debug. Pending arrows. Empty. Okay, that worked. That was way better than I thought it would be. Okay. So now we have a function that does that, and we have a function that prevents the player from sending any more commands. Since we're using the Unity destroy function, then I can use that to trigger effects when they despawn on the arrows themselves, and that way I don't have to count them all, but rather it can be a per arrow kind of thing. Oh. In that case, what we need now in order for the door to properly finish the level is... Oh, this is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Yeah, we're going to need a separate level that gets loaded, right? So let's do that just immediately. Let's put this as a prefab and just call it the level template. So folder levels. We're gonna have this one, and this is going to be just our level template. Yeah. And then we're going to make one that is very much like this. And we're going to create another one, and this is going to be our field 2. This is going to be 0, 0. It's going to be just... Yeah, it's going to have 3 walls. And it's going to have... Yeah, they're all going to be 3, but there's going to be more rows, so just row 2. Okay, unpack it, I don't care. Unpack complete. So then row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6. And row 6 is 3 walls, but then from row 5 up to row 1, they're all going to be a wall and an empty. Then here this, then here this, and then here this, right? And then this is going to be the collectible, but it's going to be the element at 1y6, and that element is going to be that wall, sure. And here we're going to put player. And so then this level generator is going to have a reference to that field. So it's going to have just public game object, and this is going to be Olex1v. Hi, can you help me? Yeah, do I know you? What's up, dude? Hi, sorry I didn't respond. If this is a spam message, though. Game object. Your name does seem familiar, though. I think you might have. I can change texture type from default to sprite in Inspector. I have 3D project, but I try to import tile map. I can't change from default to sprite. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I've come across this issue before, and I can help you. This is what you need to do. You go into Window, and you go into Package Manager. And here you want to import, well, here you want to go to Unity Registry so that you can see all the packages that are available. And in here you're going to want, which one is it? 2D Sprite. That one is going to have a button here that says import or install. You install that one, and then the sprite options are going to be available to you. Do be careful though that when you place sprites on the world, in a 3D world, they work a bit differently. I don't remember exactly what it was, but something tripped me up when that happened. I think it was... Yeah, with the fact that they don't cast a shadow, and also that the drawing order is a bit weird because it's not made to work with like Z position. It's made to work with like the render order that is like in the sprite renderer yeah, the ordering layer, right? So you have to fiddle a bit with those things, but yeah, that's how you do it. So you go into the package manager, and in there you want to install the 2D sprite package that is going to be here on Unity Registry. Okay, so what do I want then? What was I doing? I kind of lost the track. Right, I wanted to create a second level. So here, the level generator script, I exported, but it still can't change. Object exists, but apply button is gray color, and even if I can press the texture type resets default. Yeah, that's odd. I have no idea then. That worked for me, but that was like last year, so it was on a previous version of Unity. That might have changed. So, sorry, I don't think I can help you there. Let's see, so what I wanted to do is, I want to have a next level. Right, yeah, I have this public game object, and this is going to be the next level to load, so next level, and we're going to create that. And because this is a singleton, that should make it so that when the next one gets loaded, this one immediately just dies, like just gets destroyed, right? Oh, is that going to destroy all the other objects though? We'll check that when it happens. We'll see how it works. Yeah, so the next level. And then when the player steps on that end, then it's going to tell the level generator script to load the next level. Actually, it's not going to do it, because what I want to do is make it so that the player triggers a timeline, right? Because that makes it so much easier to deal with things, because I wanted there to be an animation and other stuff. So yeah, so I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to do that in script, because then I'm going to have to decouple it. It's going to be an issue. So we'll just create that function here, and we'll trigger it from the context menu so that we can test it. And then we're going to hook all of that up to the timeline. So public void next level, load level. Let's just call it load level. Load level, and I assume that this is going to be a bit of an issue, but let's just do it immediately. So instantiate, and we want to instantiate this object. We want to instantiate it in vector 3, 0. Quaternion identity, so no rotation. And then the parent should be your own parent, so that we keep the same hierarchy. Transform point parent. Now, what I want to happen is that when this gets deleted, all of its sub-objects get deleted too. I think that's how it works, but if it isn't, that should be no biggie, because all I need to do then is just make sure to destroy all of those objects from here. So... Quaternion does not contain a division for identity. Is that uppercase then? Yeah, that will be it. Yep, okay. We have this. Yeah, so now I can get this field. I can, first of all, let's make this a prefab. This is just for testing, so I don't really care. I'm going to be deleting these after. So levels, just this field 1. Now you get deleted. Yeah, now you get deleted. And now we're going to, yeah, right, I forgot. I need to make it so that I can trigger it from the context menu. So context menu trigger next level. And then like this. Okay, so now I go to this level generator and tell it, hey, trigger the next level. Oh, there's an error. Okay. The next variable... Oh, I just didn't assign it. Okay, yeah. We're going to go here. Field, yep, this. And that should make it so that we load a different level and unload the current one. It's going to be an awful transition. It's going to just pop into existence. But we can care about that later. For the next level. Okay. That's... Something happened. Something really happened. What the fuck happened, actually? This is the field 1 clone. It has a row 0, a row 1. Oh, yeah, I know what happened. Yeah, it's because this one, despite having all the rows, it doesn't have a reference to all the rows. So, 6 elements, and they're going to be row 1, 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. Right, there are 7 rows. Row 6, because there's a row that's just called row 0. Then... Right, so now I go into the field, tell it, hey, load the next level, please. Trigger the next level. And it triggers it. Where's the player, though? Okay, first of all, go field 1. Your row 0 should be wall, wall, wall. Your row 1 should be wall, collectible, not empty. Make the other one a wall. No collectible, make the other one a wall. So go into here, go into the terrain. Make the other one a wall. And then row 2, player. Okay, so I know what's happening. It's that the new player is seeing that there was a player here the frame before and is deleting himself. I want it so that when a new player gets generated, rather than deleting itself, it deletes the other. That way, the new player is going to supersede the previous rather than the other way around. You do that by going to the player movement, which is the one that checks this. It's instead of destroying game object, I want you to destroy the previous instance and then make yourself the instance. Does that work? Now we have this field. Now we have this field. We trigger the next level. And it does that. Okay, so now what I have to do is make it so that it has like a little transition, right? But that is going to be handled through timelines, and that is what I'm going to be working on tomorrow. What's important is that the door to finish works, and we still need to create the first set of levels. So let's put that on our to-do list. The door is finished, but now we need to create the end of level sequence, and then we can go to create the first set of levels. So that is what we're going to do next time, unless I end up doing it tomorrow during class, in which case we're going to be having to find something to do next time. But that is as much as I'm going to be doing today. I have fun. This was a lot more progress. I honestly thought that loading the next level was going to be a huge pain in the ass, and it really wasn't, thanks to the magic of singletons, I guess. Yeah. I am a bit, I wish I could have helped that guy that popped up in chat a little bit more, but honestly, I'm not, I got stuff to do. I'm not going to start running, tech support, you know? Like, I probably could have figured it out, but it would have taken some time and focus away. It's just the only, yeah, so yeah. I mean, hopefully he finds the solution, though. Is he still here, actually? I'm talking as if he left. Yeah, he's not there. Okay, that's fine. Also, no bots in chat. That's unusual. Like, usually there's always, like, some just looker accounts constantly staring, right? They're not even watching. They don't appear as a viewer, but they're just in the IRC. So I'm surprised to not see just weird names that never chat, you know? That's unusual, because they're always bots. Like, you check the channel and it's just some 24/7 stock watching stream or something. Okay, yeah. So I'm done for today. Glad I made as much progress as I did. Thanks for watching. Yada yada yada. Bye bye. I really need to make it so that the rice bowl can sleep when I press a button, because it's kind of weird how he's just staring at you. Okay. Good night. Good night. Bye bye.